Good morning, Eugenetics. We are now going to read the serialized book, and we are now on the third part of the serials. So let's start. The sky cast heavy, dark clouds, but somewhere I noticed one bright star in the horizon. It was like a ray of light in a seemingly hopeless situation. I never believed in omens until I saw that one bright star in that dark horizon. I felt the pain in my legs. I decided to sit. I did not even notice I was already at the Quirino grandstand at the Rizal Park. The time was 8 in the evening. It seemed my stomach commiserated with a helpless situation. I did not feel any pangs of hunger. I understood because my mind was somewhere else. I just made the biggest decision of my life. I had to live up to it without any pinch of regret. I lay down on one of the long wooden bleachers with my small backpack containing 3 t-shirts and 2 maong pants under my head. I stared blankly at the steel trusses and the galvanized roof. Before I could be lulled to sleep, I noticed there were already 3 stars in that rather dark horizon. I smiled to myself as I felt droplets of rain on my sweating forehead. They were sideswept by the brutal winds that announced an upcoming storm. I noticed the 3 stars grow brighter behind those dark clouds. Was it a good sign? Do I have a future? I thought it was rather unsafe to sleep in the Quirino grandstand overnight. So I took out a very small booklet. It was my old telephone directory, and I scanned it. Omer's voice over the red public phone was full of excitement, never lacking of the usual expletive only Karkaranons would say when overexcited. Omer also shouted the same expletive, which I cannot read here. It starts with letter K, A, and ends with letter T. If you happen to see any Karkaranons along the way, ask them what that means. It was like he was hearing from someone who died and resurrected from the grave. I spent my first night in Omer's cozy place, and my life would change from that time onwards. Let's go to chapter 2. After 2 weeks of sleepless nights, everything from my past slowly crept into my senses, like a cunning thief on a stormy, cold, and dark night. I could now paint Omer's ceiling in my mind due to my insomnia. Perhaps at this point of my life, sleeping was a very precious commodity. My high school days at the Seminario Menor de San Carlos, or later Pope John the 23rd Minor Seminary, played crisp and clear, three-dimensional, on a big screen in front of me. Wonderful days. Oh, how I enjoyed my high school days of Latin, Spanish, soccer, discipline, religion, music, and prayers. I was 11 years old then, young and highly impressionable. The scholastic philosophy training at the San Carlos Seminary College was full of fun. Besides religion, metaphysics, epistemology, logic, and Descartes, we studied Shakespeare, Graham Greene, Oscar Wilde, and that is because we had a double major, philosophy and English literature. This was the time when the training for priesthood was released from the shackles of ancient conservatism. Because of this, we were given a television set in the social hall and a red public telephone on the side. And we could even jog at 5 in the morning in the streets of Mabolo, the seminary neighborhood. Of course, this was tempered with a lot of rules. Our letters for the outside world were very seldom censored now. And incoming letters were not opened unless the envelope was colored pink with a sweet smell of roses. We were allowed to interact more frequently with the outside world, so we served in the nearby parishes during Sundays. I was very lucky to be chosen a member of the elite San Carlos Seminary College Chorale, which would be exempted from the ROTC drills and also exempted from having a soldier's white sidewall haircut. We would have annual concerts or plays at the St. Teresa's College and the Immaculada Conception College of Cebu. This was the time I realized that candidates for priesthood are also normal people, complete with feelings and emotions. God never chose angels nor aliens to serve him at the altar. The Seminary College Chorale would make a name in the national scene for winning the National Himig ng Lahi Chorale Competition 3 consecutive years at the Folk Arts Theater in Manila. Lucky perhaps, since the rule says you can only bring home the huge wooden trophy if you win 3 consecutive times. Without the untiring guidance of our musical director, Father Rodolfo Villanueva, that choir wouldn't have won anything. After winning the first Himig ng Lahi award, someone asked Father Rudy the secret. Was it the daily practice? The priest would respond, "No, we don't practice. We quarrel." That huge wooden trophy is now displayed at the San Carlos Seminary College. My theology training was at the University of Santo Tomas, Pontifical Seminary in Manila. All the very serious biblical topics were treated there. The fun never ceased. We had the option to wear the white sotana every day in class, or the clerical polo with the white Roman collar, optional. And I decided to wear the sotana every day in order to save on laundry, which I also did myself. We were now matured gentlemen, and we were treated like so. We now sleep in single rooms compared to the dormitory style in the high school and college days. Now we can go out after classes if you ask permission from the prefect of discipline. We could receive visitors on certain days and times. We bring visitors into our private rooms during open house days, but the doors stay open all the time. We could buy beers at our canteen if it's your birthday, and drink them outside at the basketball court without disturbing the serenity of the seminary. There is a limit of one case per birthday celebrant. If the cantineers were not keeping good track of the birthday records, you can celebrate your birthdays every month. Even if house rules were lenient, discipline was never compromised. We could go out in the afternoons when there were no scheduled activities. That was as long as you secure permission. So, genetics. Let us stop there and wait for the next Wednesday for the next reading. So, that's good enough, genetics. Thank you for having a time with me, and thank you very much for always following me. Share this if you have friends who wants to be reading books also. So, genetics. Have a good day. I love you.